Thinking a little bit more about people in their specific roles and kind of getting into actual use cases for AI. For someone who's maybe intimidated about starting to use this more, what is a legitimate kind of simple starting point that you would recommend for people?
I think the first thing is just to think about what you really hate doing. Like, what is that thing that you're doing in your day-to-day job that would like, it's coming up, you're like, I really don't want to work on this, or I'll put it off till the end of day, and then the end of day comes and you're like, no, I'm here now. I think really thinking about identifying what those are, and is there any opportunity for AI to help? And generally, when I talk to folks about that, the same kind of themes come up. It usually has something to do with like data like analysis or data entry, right? Data entry in and of itself, or something to do with like pulling together, herding the cats of the lawyers. Now, I will say there's a lot of job security being a legal marketer because I do herd, like I say this as a former lawyer, like just finding lawyers and pulling information out of them. I don't know that there's any magic tool for AI to make that like that would be magic. I would pay a lot of money for that. I don't know that that exists. I think that's the way we exist. But I do think some of that like data entry and the analysis and like even I think about all those times when people tell me like we want to do a webinar but we want to have the right people on the list and then you have to like email the list to the lawyer like do these people look right like just having ways strategies prompts to make that whole process simpler. That's totally possible with AI. To have ways, especially if you have connected data from databases or CRMs, there's definitely ways to comb through that and make even mini dossiers and mini write-ups on the people that the lawyers might be meeting or attending webinars or events with, right? There's ways to make that whole process simpler. But I think first just stepping back and saying, what do I really hate doing? Like, what is this? What is the thing on my list that isn't hurting the lawyer cats, but is focused on kind of like an operational thing? Like, what am I sitting in front of my computer that I really dislike doing? How can I think about using AI with this? And oftentimes, a lot of it too is like repurposing existing content and things like that. Those can all be done much faster with AI. So there's a lot of different use cases. I think they're just analyzing what am I doing, and then thinking how might AI apply to this. And that takes a little bit of knowledge of knowing what's possible with AI. So I think it's good you're here today if you're in this webinar, because you'll get some insight into what's possible and ways to think about solving some of those like problems that no one likes doing with AI.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I've been on a few calls with Joe where we've been kind of figuring out how we could use AI to do something, and he always frames it as pretend everything is possible and stop worrying about the how. And to just talk about what is tedious, or what we're trying to accomplish, and then kind of working from there with the AI to figure out a workflow.